What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Above Ground Music Radio Podcast. I am the host, Radillo, joined by my guest right here, Federico Sanchez. I say it very non-Hispanic with Hispanic last names. I apologize.
No, you're good. It has that like little twinge to it.
Yeah, I can't roll R's too well, so that's just me, I guess.
Well,
I mean, that's because I don't really speak Spanish, but it's what is. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know what the Above Ground Music Radio Podcast is, and you're joining us for the first time, it's a podcast where I have a guest from the Southern California music scene, and we talk about anything and everything and shoot the shit, and then we have fun. And then we also feature 4 awesome bands from the scene as well. And the first band is actually your band that you are currently in, because you're kind of in 2 bands in a way.
One's figuring out what they want to do.
Okay, but you're still in the band, I guess, right?
Yeah, I'm still,
And then we'll go back. We'll talk about that when we get into the topics on how we met and everything. But yeah. But yes, this is Federico's band, Sunset Carriers, Quartz Hearts. Enjoy. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. That was Sunset Carriers, this man's band with Quartz Hearts. It kind of reminds me of like a line probably in like Kingdom Hearts oh, we have to capture the quartz hearts or something like that.
Fuck, I'd be happy with that. Shit, man. Like, that'd be great game to just play kind of stoned. Yeah, dude, because it was just so colorful and just.
Are you gonna get the new one?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think I am too.
Yeah.
I don't. I've never played like a Kingdom Hearts game fully. I've always watched or played a little bit at a hand or like with a friend, but I never fully have played the game and appreciate it, I guess. But I'm also not like a Final Fantasy kind of guy either.
Oh, really?
So,
Damn, dude. I like Final Fantasy a lot.
Yeah.
Dude, the other day I was watching Final Fantasy X, just the cutscenes. Sometimes I just put on YouTube and I put it in the background when I'm just like working on something.
Yeah, I'm more of I guess Western kind of gamer, I guess. I like Halo. I don't like that's like me.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I like watching those kind of cutscenes and then like the live action stuff, I guess.
Yeah, man. The little like movie they came out with.
Mhm,
This shit was dope.
Yeah. But anyways, we're going to
All right.
promote some awesome stuff, even though, hey, that's perfect. We are ranting right now. That's good. Federico, the floor is yours to promote anything and everything that you're doing, your band, shows, any shout outs to anyone else you want to shout out to?
Shout out to our new friend who's helping us out on bass. His name is Danny from Safety Pins. Shout out to Edgar, who records guitar with us. Shout out to Bundy, LBC, who recorded us last night. Huh?
Because you were in Long Beach. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Long Beach hat. Yeah, I think this is my sister's hat. I don't know.
Oh, you just threw it on?
Yeah, it's her. Well, she lives there, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but shout out to Bundy. They're in LBC. Yeah, dude, that was just like fun. I'm trying to think. All the homies, D. from South Central, my Gardena homies. It's like our best buds, Green Earth State.
Mm-hmm.
They play like emo rock.
I love that. It's the kind of stuff. Yeah,
Dude.
those shows that we go at, what's his name's house? It's always at his house. It's where I met the captain's son. It's where, remember, it was a prepare to shop show where it was like in the living room. And then
dude.
but that was because it rained, and then now all those shows are like out in the backyard.
Yeah, it's Noel.
I know that's not like emo stuff, but like some of it's
Pop punk.
Yeah, it's like pop punk.
Oh, yeah,
kind of
man.
similar stuff.
Dude, that was really cool.
Yeah, those shows are really awesome. But
Yeah. Let me see. I'm just trying to think. Los Fana, our homies in Storm Coast. I don't know. I love all these guys. I go out to shows just to fucking kick it. You know.
You're like, your area is me in a way, but you're in a band.
Yeah.
Like you go to a lot of shows, and I mean, there was a time where actually we were like hitting up each other. Just I got like a little bit busy, and then it was just like I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
we used to
you'd
go
be
to shows
like,
like, hey dude, I'm going to a show down here or something like that.
Yeah.
It was we went to the show at Noel's, right? And then we eventually went to a show at the Continental Room or something like that.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, that was a weird night. It was, you were like, hey man, I'm gonna leave soon. We're gonna go to the Continental Room and check out this band. I was like, I'm down.
Oh, damn. That's right. I was show hopping.
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to remember what happened.
Yeah, that was a fun. That was
Dude,
a fun and
you
weird
met
night.
up with
yeah,
us.
yeah.
It's so cool. Then we stayed till the end, all the way till the end. I'm like, damn, dude, that was chill. Dude, yeah. So that's all the homies.
What about your band then?
My band is Kevin No on drums, and then me, and then whatever homies fill in.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Rosenstock's my biggest inspiration, and Bomb the Music Industry. That was his like second band.
Mm-hmm.
They like played. His whole thing is show up and play. So he was the only permanent member.
Mm-hmm.
His best friend was the most consistent member because that's his best friend, and that was a bass player. So sometimes there's videos on like YouTube. They just show up with a drum machine and it's guitar and bass, and they'd like, dude, all these videos, kids would be jumping around. Okay. It's like a different time.
Okay, but you're okay. You didn't say your band's. I know I've already said your band's name, but
Sunset Couriers.
Sunset Couriers.
Cool, man.
So how do we find you?
Yo, you find us on Bandcamp, Spotify, Facebook, and at a show.
Okay. How would you spell it to make sure that you, when they search, like they find everything? You know
Sunset Couriers, SUNSETCOURIERS. Sunset Couriers.
There we go. Just in case, so if it's spelled weird, because you know how people spell stuff differently.
Oh
and
yeah,
whatnot,
man.
but-
Couriers is kind of hard for people. I was just like, didn't you play Fallout? And a lot of people haven't.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you know.
I know that's like how it was inspired off of that, because I remember your first logo was basically like a Fallout like backdrop with like sunset carriers, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we were just because a lot of the members like Gabe and then Caesar, who was in the band at first, you know, he got a promotion, so he had to leave.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a manager or something. But we were all like, we love Fallout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to promote? Any shows or anything like that?
I think we're playing December 14th and 15th. We're playing at East Lowe's house show with Safety Pins, I believe. I don't know if he's going to move it to the next week.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're playing with the place on Rugby, I believe. I'm trying to remember. Been like swamped on messages.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, recording was like priority. So I'm like, so I got to get back to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So for all those updates, go to their Instagram. Their Instagram. Sunset Carriers. It should be pretty easy to find. Obviously.
Yeah, it sticks out. I'm
Mhm.
just like, huh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then also it's going to be in the descriptions down below for the SoundCloud and the YouTube
Oh.
versions. So it'll all be right there. So it should be not too hard to point and click, I guess.
Yeah.
But yes, for me promoting, I have a show next Friday, which this will come out this upcoming Monday, and then the video version will come out Wednesday, or hopefully by Wednesday, if not Thursday. And then we will have a show next Friday, like I said, at Beatnik Bandito with Amoeba Boys, The Goons, Melt Mars, and I'm blanking on the last band.
Captain.
Beach Stones.
Oh, okay.
So it's the first time I'm going to be meeting some of those guys, and I know
okay.
a lot of people that know them, so which is like really cool. And I had Rafa Heredia from 3LH, who shout out for the Amoeba Boys, and I know him through Amoeba Boys, and like his favorite band is the Amoeba Boys.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah. So also go ahead and check out all our other above ground radio podcasts that we've done previously. One band that we had, the Grinning Ghost, the gentleman in the fronts that band, D.W. Blake. I just got this yesterday, but we're gonna have him eventually on the podcast. But go ahead and also promoting him, I guess. It's only $7 on Amazon.
Wow.
So Liner Notes, a novella, which is or Yesterday's Tomorrow Liners Notes. Go ahead and pick that up if you can. Support him. Let him know how good he's doing. Apparently, he told me it's a tough read, but I'll get through it. I think. Hopefully, we'll see. It's only 120 something pages, so it should be. And I don't know what's a word I want to use. A decent time for me to do it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it depends on the flow, too.
Mhm.
So maybe that's what he was talking about.
Yeah. But go ahead and check that out. Also, pins. So I have pins on my beanie right now. So the guy that makes this is Dennis from Build a Nation USA on Instagram. That's what you would look from up. Build, obviously, Nation, and then USA, all one letter or one word. On Instagram, he has the best rates. Go check him out. He made my pins, and he's made several other bands' pins you'll see on his Instagram. All you got to do is DM him and hit him up. He's the best. Hung out with him last night.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Joynoise EP that came out 2 days ago, which is going to be the next song. Promoting that as well. It's Never Have I Ever. Go check them out. It's an awesome EP. I would love Heavyweights, the new version of that. And that's going to be our next song on the podcast. I'm killing it right now, bro. It's Joynoise, Pearl Mountain. Enjoy.
Take me away. Looking
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. That was Joynoise, Pearl Mountain. Go check that out. I was at their EP release show last night. Awesome show. The Greening Ghosts, D.W. Blake, who wrote that, his band played. They're awesome. I love them. Also, the Asthmatics played.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Sad Tired. That dude is so funny, man.
Yeah, I love George. Yeah, he's the best. Honestly, he's like one of the most unique guys in the scene, but also he's such a kind soul. And I love his selfie, like when he does like the little pictures like that. That's his look kind of in a way, I guess. But yes, shout out to the Asthmatics. Also after them it was the Nars.
Yeah.
Who are my favorite band, just personally. So I love them. And then there was 3LH, and then Joynoise to end the show because obviously it's their EP release show.
Oh yeah.
It was pretty awesome. It was at a sandwich shop.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Dude.
So they basically cleared out it was two parts of the sandwich shop. They basically cleared out one part and then put all the tables outside and kind of made a little pin, and they put all the tables out there, and then they put a show in the middle of the sandwich shop.
Were you able to order a sandwich?
Yeah.
Dude, you could have crowd surfed with a sandwich.
I know,
Fuck, dude.
I didn't know. I thought it was at the studio because there's a studio that they usually have shows at down the street. But I was wondering, why are people putting sandwiches in the stories to promote the show?
Oh
and
my!
I was trying to figure out. I was like,
dude,
why is there fucking sandwiches in this? And then the day of, I found out. I was like, oh, this is not a sandwich. Everyone's saying, oh, we're playing at a sandwich. I was like, no, you're not. You're playing at a studio. And I did some research, which wasn't not much research, but I investigated a little bit. And I was like, this is not a sandwich shop, dude. This is gonna be sick. But yeah, it was awesome. I don't know who owns it. I think they're called Delilicious. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a pretty cool spot to go to. Shout out to M Height Mike, who basically ran the show last night. He's a photographer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you probably have seen him around.
I've seen him.
Yeah.
Is it more OC?
Yeah, I think so. He's like a guy that just goes out to a lot of shows. He does the one where the photographs where it's kind of the lighting. The lighting is lagging, but it's still it's adding he's flash or something like that.
It's action and in focus.
Yeah, he does a really cool job with that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was an awesome show. But that was just me last night. You said you were recording earlier.
Yeah, we're in Long Beach. That was vocals was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I saw your story of someone recording guitar or something like that.
Oh, that's Edgar.
Yeah,
he's actually my supervisor because I work in Long Beach and then my other job's in Norwalk. So yeah. All
right.
But yeah. Anyways,
before we get into the first topic, let's talk about how we met.
Oh, okay. I don't even know, dude.
No, because you are probably one of the most important people in the scene, or that kind of held me to the scene, I guess. I wouldn't be as close with the Asthmatics, I don't think, if it wasn't for you. Now, I was talking about this last night because I was telling people, everyone was asking me, or not everyone, but some people were asking me, who's on the next podcast? So, no one, I guess, knew, because I didn't tell anyone, I guess, but I was like, oh, Federico, he's from Sunset Couriers. It's some people didn't know who you were, and who you were, and then I was I was explaining everything. I was like, yeah, dude, if I didn't know Federico, I don't know if Above Ground would have been a thing at all, or if I was even in the scene as much. Because the first show I ever went to, you guys played in your older band.
Oh, Prepare
Stop at Arlen Pillai's Art Gallery.
Dude, yeah.
And that was some kind of a light clicked in my head. I'm like, wow, this is awesome scene. I've never heard of anything like this. And then talking to you, you're the reason why I went to shows in the first place, actually, when I think about it. Because I was telling hey man, anything cool going on tonight or something like that. We exchanged numbers basically, and then you're like, yeah, dude, there's a show going on. All these random shows you would tell me about, and I would just go, and then that's where I kind of got the idea to I can go talk to these bands and get them to go to the art gallery and play there. And that's how that all started. Dude. It was all you, dude. I was like, oh man, I didn't realize it until I booked you, or obviously we scheduled this, and then I was talking to people were like. And then I was trying to explain, oh my. Federico's the reason why I'm doing this.
Wow,
In a way,
this
I
is
mean,
dope, dude.
you got like a little spark in my head, I guess. And then, like I said, I wouldn't be as close with the Asthmatics because you guys have crossed paths before.
A lot of times.
And obviously with Peter and stuff, and then like all that kind of just interaction with
Oh,
the scene up there and
yeah.
stuff. It's like kind of interesting.
That's where, like, blends.
Yeah, and I didn't really realize it at all until like later on. And obviously you played hardcore shows, but which are now Leisure Life. And then that kind of like blended even more.
I think that was more Peter. Peter was more connected to that side.
Yeah, but no, I meant you guys played like a hardcore show like at like Bridgetown or something like that, like one time.
Oh, you know what? We did.
Yeah,
How did
yeah.
I forget that?
Yeah, and then another cool thing, a cool little bit too, is like you're the first person on the podcast that's ever played the first show, our first above ground music show, too. Max Blooms.
Max Blooms.
You guys were the first band to ever play a show.
Wow.
Obviously, but the first band that played, period. In a way, I guess. It's like a cool thing.
Dang.
Yeah, because then we had you at the Bridgetown show like not too long ago after that.
Yeah.
Sunset Couriers. That was a really awesome show because the
That was
lineup
fun,
was pretty
dude.
fat. But
You know, one of my favorite bands was the Venisons.
yeah.
Dude. Are they like that one song that goes, baby, baby, ooh. Dude, yeah. I kind of hit them up because they're totally outside our scene. We're more like East Los, South Central, South Bay, Long Beach. I don't know. That like little, but I used to hit them up a lot because I just love their fucking music, dude. They're like really rad.
Yeah.
I haven't seen much like posted, but I'm like, I wonder.
Yeah, they're working on stuff. They did have you heard of Broken Sun at all?
Yeah, dude. I watched that.
Yeah, so
dude,
they
it's dope.
Enrique, who I'm gonna have, I think not this month but next month.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did like the live kind of stuff with them. But they're apparently, I think they're working on stuff. They're just really just trying to grind stuff out because they got a new bassist, Clarissa, in the band. So they're kind of like figuring out what they want to do. They've written a couple new songs. They haven't recorded it yet, but I know those guys are. They're not that they're busy, but they have outside stuff too, like jobs, obviously, that kind of occupy that. But like I know they're working on stuff, and they're always going out to shows because I always see Eddie, the lead singer, because I hang out with Sex Cells, and like they're like good friends.
Yeah, dude, man.
But yeah, so like hanging out with them, but yeah, I really enjoy them too. That lineup was what you guys, the Venisons, I think Sex Cells, and then the Nars, who closed that night out.
Yeah.
Which is like, it was a really gnarly lineup. It's like one of my favorite lineup. I would say it's probably like some of my favorite bands in general that played that show that night. And then obviously my favorite song you guys do. Do you guys still play Spit It Out?
Depends on the crowd.
Because like that's like my song that was like, God damn, Federico, you're writing all catchy and got to me and stuff. But yeah.
Hell yeah. Dang. I couldn't see where the lines of Sunset and Prepare were. I was just like, interesting.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
But yeah, like I know I went into a personal deep dive there, but that's the reason why I wanted to have you on the show and everything, kind of explain
that's
like
really
how
rad, man.
your real importance to the scene. I think you have there's not even like a vision. You're just so natural in your way of just inviting people and like your hospitality, I guess. It's like something that I really admire and someone that I've really looked up to, I guess, in a way.
Hell yeah, man. That's dope. Yeah, because, shows. Well, that's my whole, like, philosophy, because, like, my parents are both from Mexico, but my mom's side, she's from Tecate.
Same here. My great-great-grandparents. But my family has been back and forth, but yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I got you. She's gypsy blood. So the whole communal thing about just being in a circle, my grandma would describe it. I took her to a show once where there was like gypsies, and it was just kind of a like large celebration.
Wow.
Like gypsies from Spain, but they're like third generation. They're all rich. They act different, dude. But my grandma was just like, man, that was whack. She's like, why were they wearing shoes? I'm like, what the heck? She was like used to like the dirt and like stealing food for like just to eat, and they'd make. That's why we eat a bunch of. Anyways, we eat a bunch of soup for that reason.
Oh, okay.
But no, just like you come around and just like most people are like have things on their mind and they'll go to a show and just that's why it's like just come through. but like if you're whack, don't come through. Like straight up, don't be whack. And there's like that doesn't happen often, so that's why I'm like, oh, just go. No one cares if you show up alone. That was the whole thing. I'd show up and like I'd see you at certain shows. I'm like, who are you here with? And I'd be like, oh, I'm not here with anyone.
Yeah,
I'm here with you now. Dang.
Yeah, I know. I've gone to shows by myself with you because, like I said, it's comfortable. I know there was like one really gnarly party that you guys had. I think it was at Gabe's house.
The Halloween show?
Either
Cinco de Mayo.
There was like 2 shows. There was a show and then there was a kickback, I think, where you had like a bunch of bands. You guys are just jammed. That's where I met Heartfelt. They're what's his name from Sounds Like Disco? Miguel. It's kind of buddies, I guess.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Oh, dude. Yeah. That was a kickback.
I'm forgetting the other guys' names. But they're in different bands now.
Yeah.
Obviously they broke up. But
Rubbish House Goons. Dude, that's what's his name? Joe. It was the drummer.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The chill guy, the chillest drummer in the scene. Yeah. Yeah, he's like super nice. I ran into him not too long ago when they played. It was actually a venison show.
Oh,
it was
damn.
weird. Yeah. It was perfect. To hook up, I guess, and to talk to him again. Because I haven't seen him in a good minute. Because like Heartfelt, just obviously they're not around. But that was fun to reminisce and to look upon
the
or
backstory.
Reflect on how we met and stuff, which is cool. And like, that's the reason why I wanted to bring you on here and really say thank you.
Okay.
And then also promote your band, obviously.
Hell yeah.
But mostly to thank you. But yes, let's get into some topics, dude. Let's go.
Right.
Let's get into the first topic.
Yeah.
Even though that was kind of a topic, but who cares? Lyrics, influence, and goals.
All right. Where to start?
That night we were show hopping.
Yeah.
That's when we got like into a deep dive, I believe. We talked about music and stuff, and I remember I hit you. So I forgot we were explaining our influences on music and how it's kind of weird in the sense there's always like that smaller percentage of kids in kind of an Hispanic, I guess, kind of schools, I guess. I don't know how we started that conversation, but how we listened to like different music that wasn't like hip hop, rap, or like the poppy kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And like we kind of like listened to stuff that wasn't very popular or just not heard a lot. And like we talked about our influences on how like stuff that we like to listen to, I guess, and like how you became like how you started to create your own music, and then you talked about your influences like that. But like that was, I guess, like where I wanted to start the conversation with that kind of stuff, is like your influences on how you write your lyrics and then how you do your riffing on guitar and stuff, or write music, I guess.
So the biggest influence is Interpol.
Okay.
Yeah.
They just came out with something pretty soon.
Yeah, dude, I was stoked. Their album, a lot of people didn't like the mixing mastering, but I dug it. Anyways, my band. Interpol, man. I went to see him. Cage the Elephant is the reason why I play specific Fender tones and Fender stuff. And then Jeff Rosenstock is the reason, just got to bring that energy. And the way he writes lyrics is just, all my lyrics, I try to tell a story. Like, I went to school for like theater arts, and I came out wanting to be a writer, so I practiced that a lot. It's my favorite thing. So I just write like little poems like consistently. But I don't really share them. But well, the ones you hear, So the goal is just to write stories. So if you see a lot of the lyrics, people will be like, they'll follow a certain story or they'll follow a certain experience, like spit it out. The frustration of like, hey, if there's something wrong, you should probably tell me so we could work on it. And be like, hey, just fucking spit it out. Or like chords are like, hey, we're fighting right now, and in 2 weeks we'll probably be all right. Just don't be mad at me. Let's just keep boning. That's the whole song. The lyrics are scream my name. And that came because Gabe was just like, can we write it like, like a song about like sex or love? I'm like, yeah, I could do that. And then the later songs, the new songs on the EP, they're all forms of love songs.
Okay.
Like what's influenced these songs mostly were just different experiences. One's being like too stoned and people being mad at you, and you're like, fuck, well, what's going on? I'm just like too stoned for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And The third song on that EP is gonna be inspired by like Dante's Inferno.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to go through your own shit just to be there for the other person.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just like I try to make it like, you know, there's some weight to it.
Yeah, I feel
You know?
so. There's definitely some songs where you just literally open up your chest and you just cut your heart open and you're just like, that's a song coming out, in a way.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's how it feels. Fuck, dude. No, when that EP came out, I was just like, fuck, I'm gonna sing these songs for the first time, and I was panicking.
Yeah.
And over time, you're just like, all right, here we go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's not to say like anyone else in the scene like isn't like a good songwriter, but you specifically, I notice like the pain, I get, or like there's pain, there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of just stuff you've gone through, and like you're kind of saying it out loud, obviously, but it's something that like translate in my head and I understand it a little bit more, I guess, than usual, like other stuff from other bands that they write. In a way, I don't know how to
Damn.
explain that.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
There's a. Oh, do you know Pup?
Pup?
The band, the Canadian punk band.
No.
Dude, that's a big influence too. That's
Okay.
how we're still like. I just fucking love fast music. Pup, the way he writes his lyrics, he tells a story, and he's always just like, if I'm gonna tell a story out there, it has to be the most raw thing.
Mhm.
So if you hear some of the Pup lyrics, it's just like, hey, his older brother died in a car crash because his friend was drunk at the wheel. Or another song was Sleep in the Heat. That song is about his pet dying, and the music video made me cry because like it's the song playing, and then in the middle, like I think during an instrumental break, there's the animals that died. And, like, you know, I'm pretty used to death because I got, like, family members who died, and I got a bunch of pets who died.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Have you heard of Law Dispute?
Fuck yeah, dude. Oh, my God, yeah.
Yeah,
dude, I fuck with that post-hardcore emo shit.
Well,
I fucking.
His songwriting is very much out there, and it's very good story, like, driven, I guess.
Yeah.
He tells you a story a lot. I forgot which one. What's, like, their one like 7-minute song where it's like 3 acts basically.
Yeah. It was on the second album, maybe.
Yeah. I forgot what it's called. They talk about the kid getting shot outside of like Target or something like that, and then like he gets held up, and the cops are like outside. Like,
was it one of the last songs? It was just like
I don't remember which one it is.
We are the last of our kind.
No, I don't.
No, that's a different song.
No, like he's like basically getting really emotional, and like the guy at the very end is like holding a gun to his head because like he's like, apologizing for killing the kid and stuff.
It's like song 7 or 8 on that album.
Like I said,
remember the numbers.
Yeah, I listen to albums back to front. I don't know the goddamn song name sometimes.
Yeah,
shit.
I feel that, dude. Shit.
But yeah, no, that's why like your songwriting hits me like that. I'm like, oh man, dude, this guy's getting real emotional right now, bro. I'm gonna start crying. I relate. Like your songwriting and like the NARS songwriting, and there's a couple other bands that have a couple songs that I'm like I really relate to, but you and the NARS are like some of the stuff that it's not that it's you most of the songwriting, but everything else around that helps it out. Like for me, but like everything that's like translates the most, I guess, out of any band that's like a personal favorite in a way. And that's not like me and like this is like I like 3LH. I love the sound and everything, but like lyrically I get some of the stuff, but like it doesn't like hit me the same as like you or like the NARS kind of do.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it's not like I fucking love 3LH and stuff.
Well, we all have our varieties.
Yeah, but like personal, like my personal favorites and like writing and stuff is like you and John from the NARS. So,
hell yeah. Yeah, no, that NARS third song, When Daddy Comes Home or something.
Oh, Poppy?
Yeah,
everyone loves Poppy, dude. Everyone loves
something that's just like, fuck, dude. All right, I see you. I checked it out when it came out, and I'm like, all right, cool. We don't run into each other at all, so like that's a band I've never run into. Not really, except that one show. That one show was the only time I think. But yeah, dude, that's kind of the aim. I got a lot of indie rock influences, alternatives, my favorite like genre. I grew up with punk, skate punk. I was like a greaser. I have that like fucking photo.
Yeah, I remember. You showed me your high school photo.
And I fucking love emo, you know? I love Bayside. Bayside's one of my biggest writing influences because the way he just writes stories. But I don't want to be told like, let's be sad. the message in a lot of the songs are just like, you could do something about this shit. Yeah, we're just like, all right, well, we gotta move on. Fuck, or let's make up, or let's go to a movie. I'm just like listing each song, or like 5 a.m.'s just like, all right, well, let's talk about it. Or
what about what about goals, I guess, that you wrote
Goals?
down? That's what you wrote down. You said influences and goals. Is it goals in the sense of like what you're trying to go with your sound, or goals in like this sense of like your
goals
band
for
success?
sound
Okay.
and goals for writing.
Okay.
Because our goals for music, we're not trying to play as much anymore. So it's just trying to limit to like 2 or 3 times. But trying to make more songs. Because the thing we never did in Prepare that bummed us out, because Kevin's my band, you know? So we have like Prepare, like we were talking about it last night. It just feels good to record with Sunset. And that's something we wish we would have done with Prepare. Even if Prepared ended, we had these recordings.
Yeah.
Instead of these like live recordings, which are good, but we got that bug and we're like, fuck, like we're already, dude, we got like songs ready. So we're just like, we just got to clean them up, keep cleaning them up. And then we're actually ready to start releasing stuff early next year.
Okay.
So we just like, we want to keep it constant. We're writers. Like Kevin, the way he does drums, he tells a story. So I have to tell him, hey, these are the lyrics and this is the story. And that's why me and Kevin are really tight, you know? So he approaches drums as a storyteller. That shit's just so fucking, it blows my mind. I'm like, that's my best friend. That's fucking tight. That is fucking tight. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, those are our goals, you know, just being writers.
I remember when you even started the band, you're like, Radillo, I'm starting a new band. And like you told me, like you had it like kind of laid out in a way. Like when you told me everything, I was like, all right, I can't wait to listen to some stuff. Like this sounds sick, because like you chugged out like a whole set of songs pretty quickly.
8
like
songs.
The first, or like the first like lineup of the band.
Yeah.
And when you guys like started to do stuff, like it was like very like I can't snap apparently. It was like very overnight in a way, like how quick you guys kind of did that stuff. But like you had stuff kind of stored already in a way, I guess, right? I'm guessing.
No.
You didn't? Okay, so that was all fresh.
Me and Gabe had one practice, and then the next week Prepare broke up, and we're like, well, we got one song. I'm like, well, I'm trying to book shows already, so we need 7 songs. So we wrote that in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then we would have had 4 songs ready between that time when everyone left, but everyone had like different goals in the band, and that's something I kind of realized. Yeah. So I was working, that first lineup was working with a bunch of frontmen, and I was just kind of fresh to that, so I was kind of learning how to like work with different people, you know? Yeah. So I got you. Yeah. It's fun. You get that like fucking bug of like, hey, you know what? I want to tell a story. Yeah. Here are the chords. And like I try to fuck with like different chords, and then Kevin tries to fuck with different beats. He's just like
and he has like one of the, does he still have the light up kit?
Oh, he's working on it because his little box that has the plug-in. So if you go to the Prepare to Stop show, November 22nd, it's at the Prospector. We're playing in Long Beach at the Prospector. It's at 9:30. We play at 9:30. Kevin's working on getting his light up kit. I've only seen 2 other bands have light up kits, but they're either light censored or they're just completely light up. Kevin is good with computers and electronics. He has a box, and he has like a sensor. It's activated by
every hit. Yeah.
So he programmed it, and like if you buy that, it's like maybe like a bunch of cash, like $1,000. Yeah. But anyways, I'm just like, oh, that's my homie. I'm always proud of him.
All right. Let's move into the third song of the podcast. Yeah. And that will be Fockstail. Sorry. Misery. Enjoy.
That's how you finally have
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. That was Fockstail, Misery. Go check them out. I possibly will have a show with them, hopefully, soon. Nice gentleman I met last night. It was Eric and I believe Darren. Yeah, Darren. If I said that wrong, it's Darren. I apologize. But they were also with another band that were homies. They're homies with they're called the Pretty Boys or Pretty Boys, and that guy was their name was Derek. And I want to say I forgot the other guy's name. I apologize. I forgot your name already. But I know one of the guys' name was Garrett, and I missed them at another show at the Locker Room. They opened up the show, and I just got there when they got done playing, unfortunately. But go check them out. They're awesome. They're cool. They go out to shows and hang out, which is cool. Let's get into some more topics, man.
All right. Topics.
Well, you
pick.
You mentioned
topic.
You mentioned an EP.
Yeah.
Obviously earlier.
Yeah.
About next. You said early next year. What you guys are working on?
Oh, it's gonna be released in 2 weeks, I think.
Oh, 2 weeks?
2 or 3
Okay.
weeks, and then we're planning an album early next year.
Oh, so you have an EP and then an album.
Dude, I got shit lined up, man. I love writing shit. It's just we're finally trying to put together consistent members. So
that's good.
Yeah, it makes it go faster, smoother.
Because I remember, I think I was trying to book you, and you're like, "Oh, we kind of don't have enough members at the moment." And then I was like, "Okay, that's fine. Like, you tell me whenever you're gonna come back, or when you're ready to go." Because I think you guys played a wasn't the last time I saw you, but you guys played the Arlen show, the anniversary show.
We played as a 3-piece.
Yeah,
man.
Which was different. I was like, can you guys play a Prepare to Song song? But you guys didn't know, or I think your bassist at the time didn't know anything.
He knew a couple, man.
Yeah.
He just he's really good. He just kept riffing.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just like, hey, you got to play the part, man.
But yeah. So new EP then will come out 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, I think we're calling it Bed Sheets 33.
Okay. So be on the lookout for that, and then a possible album in the beginning of the year then, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what you guys are working on right now, or is it EP right now?
Yeah,
or
it's
both.
We're done with the EP.
Okay.
So it's mixing, mastering. We got different people working on it, and then just turning it around, sending it out. And then me and Kevin are, because I drive down to San Diego, because I'm a substitute teacher, man. Substitute teacher, and I work at the docks. So I work Long Beach and Norwalk. And, I drive down because of that kind of flexible schedule.
Yeah.
I get to drive down to San Diego once a week. And then whenever he's here every weekend. So we kind of we're already like,
jamming
hey,
it out. Yeah.
let's work on the new songs already. Because there's a song we cut from this EP that we're like, you know what? Let's take more time with that one. It's a bunch of jazz chords. I was just like, yeah. So I was just like, I need more time with this.
Yeah. So that's good. I'm happy to see. I mean, you guys you released that last EP, in July? And then Anxious Lullaby, is that going to be on the new EP, I'm guessing?
No.
No, so that's just totally different
That was just a single.
Okay.
That song was kind of a test because that Anxious Lullaby was the song I showed every band member, and I was just like, you got to just push it out. And we did it. And I was trying to prove a point where it was just like, hey, man, we did it. We can do anything.
Yeah.
We could, flow and fix it and just do it. So after that, we were just like, all right, let's tackle some more songs because we were just going through lineup changes. We're like, well,
Well,
so,
I mean, it seems like everything is going smoother right now, right? So
hell yeah, man.
Yeah, so that's good.
Yeah, we might have a couple fill-in drummers, which is probably Gabe. Gabe said he's down. But the whole Jeff Rosenstock kind of mentality, as long as I have 5 or 6 homies who are down to jam out with me. Me and Kevin are the main members.
Yeah.
We're the only permanents, but
Okay.
What we're talking about?
The new EP, yeah.
The new EP. The artwork is being done by Gerson. Shout out to Gerson Montoya.
Okay.
He's from Fullerton. I think he lives. I don't know where he lives now. Shit. Fuck, he's at a festival right now.
Okay.
Shout out to Funke really quick.
Mhm.
Those are Fullerton dudes. They're super jazzy. They're really funny guys. Fuck, dude. Yeah. No, whenever I run into the Continental Room, they're just they're fucking honest, dude. They're honest, and because of that honesty, they're so funny. Oh, man. I remember walking in. I was just like, hey, man, how are you doing? I'm like, man, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I'm like, oh shit. He's like, sorry, it was a long day at work. I'm cracking up. Oh shit. Yeah. Gerson's working on that artwork. He's a personal favorite artist of mine. Oh, speaking of Arlen Pillay, dude, you know how I used to host shows, those music and art shows? It's all based because of Arlen, because I fucking love how the art and the music match together. So that's why I like hitting up artists, and whenever I do host the show, it's nice to have art there because it's fucking rad, dude. Yeah. It's really rad. But what was I getting at this, man? I just kind of flow. Reel me back in, man.
Oh, yeah. So album next year then.
Yeah.
Let's move on real quick.
Yeah.
To shows I'm going to.
Oh, okay. Lay it down.
Here we go. Go.
All right. Shows I'm going to see Sea Haven in December. I'm going to possibly see Thursday in January. I'm still debating it. I'm looking at my wallet. Fuck. I might try to see the Front Bottoms. They're one of my fucking favorite all-time bands. I'm thinking about flying out and visiting my best friend and just saying, hey, could you take me to this concert in your city? Shows I'm going to. I'm going to probably see a bunch of the homies. Like, I finally have time. So all the homies in, like, East Los, South Central, Pomona, South Bay. Like, they all have shows going on. I'm like, fuck. I'm just trying to think, man. They kind of just come by here and there. Johnny from Slacker Sundays, he's in the Caracals. I might see him tomorrow night. There's also...
Where's that show at?
That's at the Continental Room.
Okay.
So that's with Velvet Collide. I more know Johnny from the Crackles. Oh, you know what? He still has my strap. All right, well, I'm going to be at that show tomorrow. No, I just keep forgetting to message him. So it's me. But there's also a show in Long Beach at Alex's Bar. There's the dude, Louie. He plays in Fellow Robot. I think he's playing tomorrow. I don't know. There's 2 shows tomorrow, so I'm like... he's from Nowak and he's from Zacatecas. He's from home state, my dad's home state. So, anyways, I don't know. There's so many shows, man. I could just finally fucking go and see everyone. Yeah. But big shows, I think that's it, man. I just really wanted to see Sea Haven. It's been so long.
Okay. That was real quick.
Was it quick?
I don't think I have anything like planned. It's usually like last minute for me. I guess.
Go to Sea Haven.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. It depends on like my schedule too, because I usually I work until 8:30 at night. So usually, if a show like doesn't start, like if it usually starts right after that time, then I usually go. But yeah, usually whatever pops out on like OC gigs.
Okay.
Southern California.
Do you ever use Oh, dude, yeah, Southern California music scene. That's Sky.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. He always sends me kind of stuff to promote and stuff. So, but then them. I don't think there's anyone else that I know of. Shout out to Moonkill Radio. I think that's what they're called.
Yeah, he posts some stuff.
He reposts like anything I kind of post. Shout out to them real quick. This will probably be in the Instagram video version or to me shouting them out and stuff. But thank you guys for reposting stuff all the time. But yeah, I'm more of a wing it kind of guy on shows. Oh, okay. I don't really plan stuff unless a homie tells me like, hey, dude. I have an EP show release or something like that, and I'm like, okay, I'll be there.
It's at a sandwich shop. Come get a sandwich.
Yeah, come get a sandwich.
Get a sandwich. Free CD with a sandwich.
But yeah, one more thing before we get into the last song, and then we're getting into the last topic.
Yeah, and
then we're done. That's it.
Dang. All right.
So, things you are listening to right now.
Fuck. Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, oh my God! I'm a bust a nut. No, dude. We were promised jetpacks. I just saw him recently with Gabe. We went to see them. They released a new album. I fucking love it, man. That's actually another like Sunset influence. We want to be this like heavier, darker indie that just like kind of it's upbeat though, you know.
Yeah.
So been listening to that. Been listening to a lot of Bayside. Been listening to a lot of Green Interstate. So 110 North. I have that. Sorry, I don't listen to the other songs as much. It's the homies band, but I'm just trying to think. Cause I posted it. I was listening to a lot of Phoenix. I fucking love Long Distance Call. Like, I was listening to all the Rage Back Home, Interpol. Just listening off the songs. I'm trying to think. You by Bad Religion. The band is one of the best fucking shows. I've seen him multiple times. One of my favorite bands. What am I listening to? Modern Baseball. Their little like
I've
EP.
heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Another bit. Fuck, dude. I love that band. Yeah, I saw that band with Gabe too. Been to a lot of shows together because I drag him. I'm like, hey man, come with me. Come with me. He's like, don't be creepy, Fred. Fuck. It's mostly just some emo, some local homies. You know, they release some stuff. There's just a lot of people releasing shit right now. It's good. I think the new homies from Tremors are releasing something. Sometimes I listen to Bundy. I listen to their second EP a lot because that's my favorite EP. So, you know. But been listening to them. Just trying to think of some of the other influences. Because, like, someone told me, like, the music you listen to at the time will influence what you're writing at the time. When my homie, he plays in, like, 4 different... He's a trumpet player, so, you know. He plays in 4, like, different bands in Minneapolis right now. Like, 2 of them indie, one of them, like, soulful R&B, and then another one's just kind of I don't know what it is. Shit. But when he did, like, a little, like... he did, like, 4 podcasts, and then he stopped. But one of his podcasts was, like, the stuff you listen to will help influence what you're writing.
Okay.
So that's why these songs are a little bit more influenced by, like, these different, like, indie rock kind of... emo stuff. That's why we are never really put with like people that match us. We're just like, all right, you're kind of emo, or you're kind of indie, or you're kind of alternative, or you play fast, you're kind of punk but a little soft. I'm like, damn, all right, cool. But we're here to have a good time, and most people are just like, all right, cool, man, I like your influences. I'm like, I fuck with a lot of different shit, man. I do love my metal, but it's specific ones. I'm more of a punk than a metalhead, but, you know, I'm just like, I fucking love music, man. Shit, you just like, you smoke a like fucking, take a nice hit, and then you could just feel the textures and the colors. That's how I approach music. So, just to go a little off topic really quick. Yeah, that's how I translate. I'm like, hey, Kevin, this is the texture I'm going for, and this is the colors for the song, kind of, and this is the story. He's just like, all right, cool. And then he shells out a drum beat, and I'm just like, all right, it's based off of this song. And I show him snippets of certain drum songs. And just like, hey, this is some Pigeon Detectives, because they're a little bit more garagey. And I was listening to a little of them. I like UK indie a lot. So, like, We Were Promised Jetpacks. I was like, hey, can we kind of approach this sort of drums? So you'll kind of hear, like, some, like, fucking, like, We Were Promised Jetpack style drums, and then some of other influences, like, Kevin has. You know, I don't know Kevin's influences. His favorite band is, like, Radiohead and Muse.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's always, what I've noticed nowadays, a lot of bands don't have everyone, you know, you think, like, everyone would come together, like, oh, we like these set of bands. Like, this is the only things we could be like. But when you actually get down and talk to the bands, each band member has totally different, like, personal things that they like, or personal bands that they like, which is, like, weird to, like, find, like, to get into, like, the nitty gritty of the band. But
yeah, man. Our new bassist is really into pop punk, but he fucks with everything. Like, the homies, shout out to Powwow Now from Long Beach. I fucking love that band. Man, they played my birthday, I think. No, they only played my birthday once.
Didn't they play Lotte Fest?
Yeah.
I was talking to Will about that last night. He was at the show, the Captain's Son.
Will, shit. Shout out Captain's Son. Shit. I listened to the last 2 songs. I haven't listened to, like, the other 2, but I need to. Dude, they live pretty close, so I'm just like, fuck, I gotta visit them.
Yeah.
I was, like, driving, and then I see, this is in Long Beach, and I just see, not Jared, Paige. I see Paige, and he's just out there. He just came out of the liquor store, and he's drinking a soda. I was just like, oh, shit. Hey, what's up, man? He's like, hey, how are you? I'm like, well, I'm about to go to work right now. I was like, all right, cool. Well, I don't know if he was feeling sick, so I was like, all right, cool. Well, I'll catch you later, man. It's nice to see you. Shit. Fuck. Yeah, dude. God, there's just so much music. Anyways, that's all. That's all the music I've been listening to.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot too. You gotta read. and you got to read the lyrics in order to like get that influence.
Mm.
So I read people's lyrics, and I skim through it, and I'm just like, you know, what a nice exercise is like, how can I tell a story like that but in my own words?
Yeah.
So I've been reading a lot of Bukowski, been reading like a Chicano poetry compilation.
Mm.
There's some good stuff in there. Federico Garcia Lorca, he's a poet from Spain.
I thought you were gonna say your own name. I was like, what?
Federico Cruz Sanchez. And I look at my own lyrics and I'm like, how could I be better? Like, yeah, I'm always trying to like, yeah. So that's what's up with music right
Yeah,
now.
dude, that's awesome. Like, it's cool to see your processes and stuff. It's really sick.
Yeah, they're all gonna have their own different
Mhm.
vibe because they're all influenced by different things. So
Mhm.
every single song, you're like, that's within the realm of Sunset,
Yeah.
but it's like a different vibe. So that's a problem like they had with me. They're just like, Fred, could you like kind of stick to like one sort of vibe? I'm like, no.
No.
Fuck that shit, man. Like it'll have the Sunset vibe, but like it'll be in the realm, you know?
Mhm.
They'll all have their like,
You have your hands in different pots, basically. Yeah.
yeah, because
Yeah.
I love different things, you know?
Mhm.
But
But yeah. Talking about loving different things. Actually, this is not really to say any of that, but we're getting into the last song of the podcast.
we could love that song, man. Fuck yeah, dude. What's the last song?
The last song is from our last guest that we had, Nathan Harvey, his band, Scatterbrain. Hung out with them last night too.
Uh-huh.
This is his band again. Almost the most played band, I think. No, the most played band on the podcast so far.
Ooh.
So this is Scatterbrain,
Congratulations.
ABG. Enjoy.
She's trying to run away right now from her garbage in Garden Road. Her mascara is running down, and her eyelashes are falling out. Can't find her by the Clover House. She might be blowing out away. She has a 4.0 GPA, and she's so smoky than me. ABG, she's right. ABG, she's supposed to be than me. She's right. ABG. She's right. She's supposed to be that me. She's right.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We had a little chit chat in between songs. That was Scatterbrain, ABG. Shout out to
Yeah.
Nathan, Perry, Ethan, and Neil. They didn't play the show last night, but all were there supporting all the bands and hanging out like real homies.
Yeah.
One of my favorite bands to hang out with. Period. Right now, I hang out with them a lot now for some reason. Just going to shows and they're just there. And then also. Like Sex Cells, I just go and hang out with Ricardo and MD all the time. Then whoever's tagging along with them too. But yeah, they're like some of the coolest people to hang out with.
Sex Cells is really supportive, man. I see their stories and they're always just like, they do a lot of shout outs and they're always at a lot of shows.
Mhm.
I'm like, fuck, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's it.
Shout out to Sex Cells.
Fuck yeah. Okay.
Now we're gonna get into the reoccurring question of the podcast, and you said you were ready for this one.
I was ready.
So, in a situation where you are being hoarded by 7 to 8 year old little kids, and in this situation also you're gonna die regardless. But before that happens, how many of these demonous little children are you gonna take out with your bare hands?
I would say about 13 to 20.
13 to 20.
Yeah, because you know, it sounds fucked up, but I do work with kids, and they're pretty strong.
Yeah.
But they'll work good in numbers. And remember, this situation is as if they're gonna kill me. Like I'm boarded up in my room. I'm just like, I'm not gonna go down without a fight. You know, you gotta fucking you gotta attack hard. You gotta be like, you know what? They got soft bellies. You gotta punch that shit. Sorry, my humor's kind of fucked up, but but no, you know, if it ever comes down to that, I'm like zombie invasion. These kids are like fucking like, or they're just like they ate the wrong cow meat and they're just like, you know, I'm gonna be like, well, you know, they're out here to kill me. They're outside my house. I'm gonna take about, you know, I'm gonna take a good 13 to, I have to say 13, man.
13?
Yeah, because, you know, I went under, fuck, man, because they're pretty fast, and in group numbers, they got all those hands, and they're fast. They're fucking fast, man. Like, you could, like, power through that shit, but they're pretty fast, man.
Yeah.
And they'll work in numbers, and if it's, like, hordes, like Plants vs. Zombies, but it's, like, Federico versus kids, or zombie kids. Let's call them zombie kids. I feel a little... It's as if that happened, then, yeah, you know, it's kind of, you know, I'm just like, well... But... in reality, I wouldn't do that shit. You're just like,
it's just a fun question, though. So it's gonna spice it up. That's why.
Yeah. I think of Fallout.
Yeah.
Like, I think like all the little the psychos, because they got like little psychos, or like I think of Borderlands. You know how they have like the tiny people. Like if it's like that, you know, yeah, you'd probably. I'd say maybe less than that. I'd say maybe 10, because if it's like tiny people. Because did you even know that childhood wasn't even classified until the late 1800s or 1900s?
I would assume that, yeah, because
they were little adults. They put them to work.
Yeah, when the reason why they call it infantry is because they're basically babies still.
Yeah,
kids were serving when they were like 13 and stuff. So
yeah,
or even younger, because it even goes back to the like medieval Renaissance times. It was, I think, by law. Like farmers had to train their sons how to shoot bows, and that's what a lot of them did. They would basically get hired as a mercenary and then shoot bows as like kids, and then travel. That was like the only way of the travel at the time.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's why they call them infantry, like I said.
Yeah, I just read about that, or like, you know, the history of childhood, and it's just there's. Like, the study of kids and just, like, how kids work, it's pretty fucking young and fresh. It's only, like, maybe 100 or something years or so.
Scraping the surface.
Yeah, they're just like, well, you know, we should try treating them differently. I don't know when that happened, but, like, it's pretty recent.
Well, a lot of time, or even today, actually, a lot of people were just having kids or at the time, during, like, the Industrial Revolution, to have another hand to basically make money for the family.
Yeah.
And then also... I don't know where this was at, but this is like really recent. It was like somewhere in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Like a farmer basically just had kids so that they were basically, he would basically put them in front of the tractor where he was farming, but it was also a minefield. So he would rather lose a kid because he can make another one.
Fuck.
And then to lose his tractor, which is more expensive, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Survival's harsh. It's like different now,
but like, I mean, that's still going on in different parts of the world. So stuff like that you're talking about still happens.
Yeah, I mean, even here in SoCal, there's things, you know, that happen, especially in gang shit. Like, that's some real shit.
Yeah.
Like, they recruit early, and it's just crazy, man.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I'm just like, anyways, I digress. You know, if this was like medieval ages, I'd say 10 kids.
10 kids.
Yeah. They're in the infantry.
Right,
they're going to try to stab me. I'm just like here, a lonely farmer trying to defend myself. I'm so stupid.
All right, let's move into the last topic of the podcast, and then we're done, and then we're out of here. You wrote down, what do you love to do outside of music? And this is an interesting question. I like to do these kind of topics at the end because it's good. It's a good closer, and we can maybe get deep. I don't know, but what do you do outside of music?
I love to work.
I love to work.
I
too.
love to work, man. Working is great. Nah, it is, dude. Because I'm a substitute teacher, man. And there's not a lot of Hispanic teachers, depending on the area.
Yeah.
So whenever I go in the classroom, I speak to them in Spanish, like my style of Spanish over here. You know, my folks, they grew up in like, you know, they were just like, hey, you know, you're Mexican American, you're Mexican, you should speak Galo, which is like, you know, Chicano slang. So that my pops was just like, hey man, like this morning, he was like, ¿Dónde vas, loco? I was just like, dang, dude, I'm going to Santa Ana. Or what was it? Santa Ana?
Santa Ana.
Yeah,
We're in Santa Ana.
just like Santa Ana. He was just like, all right, cool. He was like, yeah, man, I'm not fucking crazy. He was just like, dude, that just means dude. I was just like, oh, yeah, all right. Sometimes I forget. But he has his own lingo. Like, hurra means the cops. So my uncle's just like, yeah. What was I getting at? So, yeah, I love this.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Chicano shit because, like, there's a lot of things that needs to be bridged. And you could have a lot of pride and shit. But, like, state-wise, what is your home state, you know? I love that shit because it kind of helps explain stuff. And you could present that and, you know, invite other people, you know?
Yeah.
So it's really cool. Like, my home states are Baja Norte and Zacatecas. And, you know, I love learning more. I can't go back to those states. No, I could go back to Baja Norte. I can't go back to Zacatecas. I will be killed. Hey, some real shit, dude.
Yeah,
you know, my grandpa was just like, you can't go back. You should have went back when I went. I'm like, well, all right, fuck. Eventually, I'm going to try it, though. Hopefully.
Yeah.
You know, but
hopefully
I
it cools down there.
It was more of a personal thing, so it's not like, hey, the country's like, you know, crazy.
Yeah, there's certain parts of it that's like it's just dangerous, but that's just like it's an unfortunate thing where people can't go back and visit family and stuff like that.
Well, even then, you know, my family's been here. Like they built railroads here. Like the people from Zacatecas and Dairy Valley, so like Norwalk Hawaiian Gardens, Paramount, like. Specific, it was all ranches. So I love history. I love reading history. There's certain things got influenced. LA would have been smaller because LA would have been smaller if they weren't greedy. But there's several water laws. People included the San Fernando Valley, which is tight, but it would have been a separate kind of county. And certain things would have been separate counties. Or separate parts if it wasn't for water laws. But if they were just like, hey, this is part of LA County now you're going to have to share your resource with us. So I love reading history shit like that. Like California, there's a lot of things that are shaped by water and climate, you know? And this shit's so interesting. Like, people talk different ways. It's just the regional thing and the vocal thing. It's based off of like the heat and temperature and the humidity and certain climates. So like people from my part of Mexico, so Michoacan, Jalisco, like we all speak sort of modo, is what my grandpa said. And it's just like he's telling me different states that like speak different modos. You know, you go to a DF, you know, and it's different.
Yeah, because you get different slang from. There's obviously different types of English in just America alone.
Oh hell yeah, dude! SoCal, different from North. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, because I have family in Texas.
Yeah.
And so when they talk, like, because I don't speak Spanish like fluently at all. I just know like snippets, because like just the way I was raised is we were so far, I guess, into the States by the time, because did I tell you on the podcast or before this I was talking about my great grandfather or great grandparents. I have a picture actually. I'll show you after, because I'm going into like my family history too. And I think we basically were in California since like the 1800s, I guess. So that was like pretty crazy to find
man
out.
Just because
so like
things were,
and then for my family it was kind of, I mean, we still hold on to a lot of family traditions and cultures, but we've kind of really embraced, I guess, the American life in a way because of how it's been really integrated. Because when you, like, a lot of Hispanics don't look Hispanic sometimes, and there's people in my family that look like they don't, like, you wouldn't think they're Hispanic because, like, their skin tone and, like, their hair color, I guess.
Oh, just regional stuff.
Yeah. So stuff like that. So, and then also my family's they're very military, I guess. It goes back to like my great grandfather or something like that, going back to like World War One, and like my grandfather World War Two, my dad and his siblings, not during Vietnam but after, and then my brother, and then I have other family members too. But like it's just like that kind of like, it's like weird to it's like hear you talk about your stuff, but then like me, it's like kind of how like different paths have been like forged in a way, and how they take, I guess, their family, because like my parents don't speak Spanish, they only understand it really, which is like weird too. It's like when people look at me like, you don't speak Spanish, I'm like, not really, because like my parents didn't. But I mean, the only reason why I know a little bit is because of my grandmother. Mm-hmm. She's like the only one that really speaks,
same thing, man.
Yeah, speaks Spanish, but she basically speaks Spanglish to me in a way, I guess.
Well, it also depends on who raised you.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be very honest. I don't tell people, but I'm starting to be a little bit more open. I was raised by gangsters, you know, which is a thing. And the way they speak Spanish, it's a little harsher.
Yeah.
And, you know, man, I'm never saying that. So, no, it's the first time saying it publicly. I don't like sharing it a lot.
Yeah.
I don't want, like, a certain image. But, you know, that's why, like, things are a little harsher of tone. I have to soften it for people, especially my Spanish. And they're just like, if you talk to someone whose father was, let's say, you know, like my homie's dad, he's from Jalisco, and like he spoke a certain way. He was just like, hey, you pronounced that wrong. I'm like, nah, we pronounce it that way because like this is how we're passed on. So there's little nuances. So that's why it's like, why are you gonna bring someone down? You know, you could just like sign up for Duolingo. There's specific like Spanish that I want to like get a little bit more fluent in, but I could carry a conversation. But I also know like it's also influenced by my uncles and who taught me all that shit, you know. That's like that background and both sides. And you could always pick up the tradition, and people will probably just only give you shit on, you know, the traditions and beliefs you carry on, because there's very specific beliefs to the region. And it's I'm just trying to go off of what my grandpa said, you know.
Yeah.
But that's why, you know, my uncle was just like, hey, man, because I always told him, like, well, you know, a lot of my homies, they always give me shit. But it's just like I just learned, like, different versions of our culture. Yeah. You know, it's just a different approach. And, like, a lot of my homies are from, like, Jalisco. And, like, I don't have a lot of homies from Zacatecas. The nuances. They're all very similar, but the nuances in each state. So that's why he was just like, well, you know, you're here, man. You're American. You know, you're Mexican-American, but you're also a Mexican. You're a Mexican, and consider this just, you know, another state. You got to approach it like, hey, this is a population of people, and the influences around you, it's the same thing. Agriculture, the resources, what are the things around you? What is the culture? Music, the stories being told at the time on the screens reflects the nature and the behavior of the people at the time. And I heard that at a class at Cal State Long Beach. That's where I went. And it just always stuck with me. It was just like, what are the stories being told now and why? During the 50s, it was like nice and bright because of World War II. And then you get grayer because of the 60s. And we're breaking it down, how certain things were omitted. So there's things like that. I love history. I love reading. I really love reading. I love psychology. Not like, hey, you know, surface level psychology. There's specific things, you know? So it's just like, you know, and it's never to like read people. It's just like to better understand yourself and how you interact with people. That's just me, man. Cause
dude,
like
I'm so with that. I'm a person, even when I like to understand why bad people do bad things too, stuff like that. Understanding like their psychology and like their ideology too. So getting into like kind of that stuff. Like the next book I'm really am gonna get into is Mein Kampf by Hitler.
Oh shit.
So yeah, like I really I'm like getting get like a deep dive into that, and that's like a book I really am just like want to get into. Another one is I'm about to order it on Amazon after I'm done with this. It's a book. It's like the Marco Polo or the Muslim Marco Polo. He was like a guy that traveled from like Morocco, I think, into Eastern Europe, all the way into like obviously the Middle East, and then all the way into like I think it was Western China. So like he basically is, like I said, like the Muslim Marco Polo, and then talks about the Muslim culture kind of in a way. I'm taking a class on that stuff because I really am interested. Before I took this class, I read this whole book on like the whole history of the Middle East and stuff that I've been really getting into. But like understanding cultures like that, understanding
Dude,
stuff like that.
because there's
like
patterns to that.
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
patterns that repeat and the
Mhm.
influence and how it spreads.
Yeah.
So there's certain specific things. So you go over here, and it's just the history in Mexico.
Mhm.
There's a lot of Filipinos that fought in the Mexican War
Mhm.
for the independence, I believe. So there's always this like this specific pockets of stuff,
Mhm.
and it's always interesting because things are gonna continue to mix, but there's reasons for that. And dude, I don't know, because there's stuff and a lot of questions now, and you look at stuff now, and people are just they either don't really care about it, not just because they have different priorities, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just like, who has time for history? But like, if you look at history, there's a lot of answers, you know.
Mhm.
There's this dude. He's from, he's from Fellow Robot. His name is Louis. He's like a Long Beach band. I love talking to him. He reminds me of one of my uncles. He's like a little older.
Mhm.
He's from like, just because he's from Norwalk and Zacatecas, and he has like that certain vibe. He's really harsh, but he was just like, life is beautiful and cruel, and that's something I've heard my family say.
Mhm.
And I was just like, oh shit, like this is just like he's talking like my family members. But he also said, hey man, you're being egotistical. You think there's more to discover.
Mhm.
And I had to like counter, and I was just like, nah man, I think there is. It's just like, well, the things were laid out before. How we influence each other and how we all connect has been laid out before. And I was just like, well, the things to discover is how technology, which is an extension of the external nervous system,
Mhm.
because that's just like a second brain.
Yeah.
And it'll help you reach your friends and communicate things, just like how a car is an extension of the legs.
Mhm.
Sorry, I love reading, bro.
No, I got you, dude.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
what you're relaying right now, and the way you're making it like parallel to like what you're talking, like when you talk about.
I care about people. I'm just
Yeah, no, the way
Yeah,
you talk about
yeah.
your legs, I get what you're saying right now. I think people listening to it, I'm not sure. You're getting pretty deep, so I'm not too sure like how people are like. People are just gonna get mind
fuck
fucked
it,
right now.
dog.
hopefully.
Yeah. Shit, dude. I just love because I love people. I'm just
Mhm.
like I'm rough at tongue, and there's some people who are whack that I'm like I don't give a fuck. I've already met people like that where
Yeah.
I'm like I don't fuck with you, but that's why a lot of people we gotta band together.
Mhm.
See a lot of division sometimes, just like fuck. Especially this era, I'm just like shit, dude.
I don't think there's as much division as people think there is, though.
Yeah.
I think it's really just social media when you think about it. Like, how many people are probably on social media, like, throughout the world? It's probably, or through the country, like, in general.
Yeah.
I think there was a statistic that came out, like, there's only, like, 40% of the people that are on the internet, like, doing all that kind of, like, negative division kind of stuff.
Oh really?
So when you think about it, it's not that many people. It's just, like, those
Mhm.
specific few people. And when you break it down even more, like there's only 40% of the people actually on the internet doing that, or just in
Mhm.
general like that. And then the ones that are being like actual negative, it's probably even smaller than that. And that's what like, it's kind of like put a big old microscope on like the negativity and stuff. I don't think like when people say like, oh, we're the most divided we've ever been, I'm like, you've not read history at all then. 'Cause
Yeah.
you don't know anything about the Civil War then. You don't know anything about like elections. When people say an election like that was like, this is like this, like the election, like it's 50-50, like it shows how
Mhm.
divided we are. Like, but there's been elections like that since the start of the country. So I don't understand why you talk. Your comparison like that is like doesn't make any sense. And then when they talk about like the popular vote and stuff, like
Yeah.
there's a reason why you don't win on the popular vote, but people don't read the Constitution or history or anything like that.
Nah, because there's reasons why
Yeah.
there's reasons why it felt divided,
Yeah. But
The
it also
big-
like too, it's just people, like I said, they're not that they're ignorant, but they have the priorities and they don't want to put the time in to read stuff like that, I guess.
Yeah, because there's certain things that feel really divided,
Mhm.
and those feels like major issues. But if you just go to the bar nowadays, like
Yeah, you just talk to a person.
SoCal, depending on the spots, because there's some spots that like you look different, people don't fuck with you. No matter who you are, if you
Yeah.
look kind of different. But there's like spots you go to certain bars, certain dive bars. There's so many like different types of people.
Mhm.
That's what's the cool thing, especially fuck, there's like so many spots like that. You go to spots and just I feel it's becoming a little I don't know, man. There's just like it's a lot more accepting. It's cool.
Mhm.
But like certain divisions that are happening now, you're just like, well, how much of an influence am I letting this happen?
Mhm.
You know, and what are we doing to banding together?
Yeah.
It's something I don't see a lot. Like,
But
you know,
also too, like when you look at it, like if you even want to like go like to simplify it too, like all it is two different groups, or you know the parties, I guess,
Yeah.
two different groups that want to solve problems, but the way they want to solve problems is just different. That's all it is. But they want to solve problems. Is what it is too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not really referencing political stuff.
Oh, wow! So I thought we were talking about
no,
you talked
no.
about division and stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like everyone, or you can even, but in general, like everyone has like their own way of going about things. They're just like
Yeah.
they. I think everyone wants to go through it like morally the right way, but like it's just different. It different, and then how you live your life too is always different.
I think
Like,
'cause-
when you're influenced off like religion
uh-huh.
or whatever stuff I guess you're reading that kind of influence you to do stuff, I guess, or that help shapes
Yeah.
your world or shapes like the way you are.
Well,
Influence
it's
your
like
parents as well.
expansion,
Yeah.
dude. Like what we're living in is the most like think of it of a giant Venn diagrams. Just think of it
Mhm.
circles overlapping, which is really cool because the knowledge was only like monks. My pops reads a lot,
Mhm.
you know, which always surprised me. It sounds fucked up, you know, because he was always on the street, but you know he reads a lot, dude.
Yeah.
So like, but he always said, you know, like you got to study like a monk because the monks like they attain that knowledge and they're able to see specific things, but like some of that knowledge was only attainable to certain people. But
Mhm.
now look, we got the internet and
Yeah.
there's a lot of these Venn diagrams and you know, there's a lot of things that bring people together. Like
Mhm.
there's bands like connecting that would have been hard like back then.
Yeah.
And you know, with each progression, there's always gonna be a different set of challenges.
Mhm.
So it's always cool. Like you're never gonna get to the end of things.
Yeah.
You're not. You know, we could talk about this all the time, like in general. But in general, you're never gonna get to the end of history and how things lay out and influences. You could probably pull out major points, but that's
Mhm.
a cool thing. You know, there's so many like, you know, even the fucked up shit. You know, like the shit about like Mein Kampf made me a little nervous because like. You know, my grandma talked, you know, like she's gypsy, like, but she was in Mexico. She was just like, yeah, you know, you started hearing from all the like little gypsy caravans in Mexico. They're just like, oh boy, like the gypsies in Europe are like,
Yeah.
yeah. But that's why I was just like, but if you read that book now, you kind of understand that
Mhm.
book was based on logic and how logic, if it's very useful, but
It's dangerous.
it's also very dangerous because fuck, I could just keep going,
Mhm.
man. I just keep reading
Yeah.
shit like this.
Yeah. So like, and then I have another book. The thing I like, it's the Middle East I like reading about.
Uh-huh.
Like I'm not that I like reading about Hitler, but like that's the guy I'm going to
Mhm.
get into next. I'm a big Napoleon guy, so I read about Napoleon a lot too.
Yeah.
Another book I have is a book I picked up a while ago. I just haven't read it yet. It's letters from Confederate soldiers to like their families, like
Oh, shit, yeah.
compilation of all that stuff. So like
Mhm.
reading that kind of stuff is what I want to read too. Just understanding why people do certain things, I think, is like one thing people can't try to do. I guess is like one thing I've been trying to help.
Yeah.
'Cause I think I want to write a book on important things you need to know, and I think understanding other people and their actions is one thing.
There's
that,
not
you
enough
know,
books like that. There's always
Yeah.
books on like, hey, how can you influence people? But stuff like that where it's just
Well, I'm
like,
not trying to like influence people. I'm just saying, hey, this is
yeah,
why bad stuff happens in a way.
and how to
Yeah.
understand it.
Yeah.
No, I get you.
Yeah.
There's not enough books like that. You know, you get more like
Mhm.
how to influence people,
Yeah.
but like this is more how to understand them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then
Because I'm not like I'm not technically a writer.
uh-huh.
But, like I'm going to school for history. So, but like,
oh wow, really? No
Yeah.
wonder. Shit,
Yeah.
dude. I'm like, oh, I fucking love this. I
Yeah.
love talking history. Depending, because there's always stuff you sometimes get things wrong, and people will be like, you know what, this also happened, and you're like, interesting.
I have too
Fuck.
much stuff in my head about that stuff.
Yeah, dude, and it just gets complicated.
Yeah.
But you know, I read a lot when I'm out there. I take things in. You know, when I was going to Costa Long Beach, I was having a hard time taking tests, and I had to go see like a therapist on there. We had like 4 sessions, and she was just like, "Oh, you break things down differently,
Mhm.
and you're always gonna philosophize something." I don't know, that's a word. You're gonna like think about the philosophy of things a lot,
Mhm.
which is gonna be hard. So you gotta be a little bit more practical. which makes, there's all these reasons to understand things, and then where do you go from the actions from there? It's always interesting because it's just like you could understand a person so much, but where does the action go from?
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. There's just a lot, dude. It just never feels like you're probably going to grasp most of it. You probably can, but that's just the stuff I'm reading now. It just leads to more question. Knowledge leads to more knowledge. Where it's just like, fuck, dude, there's just so much more. It's like overwhelming,
Yeah, yeah.
This shit's rad. Anyways, it's just rad. No, dude, reading's fucking tight.
Yeah. Reading's the best thing you could probably do, honestly. I would say don't read the news, read fucking books. Read some fucking books, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Anyways, that's been it, ladies and gentlemen. Dude, that was beautiful, dude. That was really fucking beautiful right there at the end. This is why I love doing this kind of shit,
Fuck,
honestly. And I'm fucking glad that I had you here. I hope everyone goes checks you out on Instagram.
Yeah.
Go check your band out. Go listen to your band. That's been it, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already, go ahead and love the video, or if you're on SoundCloud, hit that heart button. Share this with everyone. Go ahead and check out all the links down below of his band, all the stuff we got going on our Instagram. That should be all in the links down below. Also, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Go ahead and leave some comments down below. And
your
that's
show Friday.
my show Friday,
Hell
obviously. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. We are available on SoundCloud, like I said, on SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes, podcasts, and YouTube. I'm working on Spotify at the moment. And that's been it, ladies and gentlemen. That's been the Above Ground Music Radio Podcast. I've been joined by Federico Cruz Sanchez. I would say Cortez for some reason.
Hell yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
I've been the host, Richard Radillo. We'll see you guys next time. That's it.
See ya.
See ya.
Perfect. So then we're gonna get into the kid killing question.
Oh, I know that one, man. I work.
So
It's kind of fucked up, but I'm like, well, I'm gonna answer it for you. I'm not gonna be like, no. You never know, man. Like, some people are soft. You can like, but the children. I'm like, these children are trying to kill me. You got to be in the moment and be like,
let's hold that. So let's wait for that when we get back.
I'm ready, dude.
All right, here we go.
All right.